Where have I been? Where have I been? Well, let me explain it to you. Description in my last video, it did say something about what was happening, but let me explain it to you. Yep, I'm back. Another video. Welcome to the Polo Fire channel. So, Happy New Year, guys, and welcome to the Polo Fire channel. I've just witnessed the London Lions game, the Leicester Riders, and I've also witnessed the Bristol Flyers game. It's kind of a shame it's all in one night, split the fan betters, so we don't really actually see the games one by one. But I did catch a few of the highlights and some of the plays that was happening. I did watch the London Lions and Leicester game in totality, and it was really good. Leicester has a really good team and they have lots of good shooters, but I think they struggle with an kind of like a point guard, somebody that's really trying to find the players and make sure he gets those passes in. I don't know who it is. I mean, Washington, he's not really on the court as often. So who is it besides him? I don't really know a lot about their roster. I've looked into Abercrombie, but he's not a point guard. So yeah, I don't really know a lot about their roster. But when it comes to it, Leicester needs somebody who can actually do that playmaking and find them so they can create those shots. Not like they weren't getting shots, but you need some more of that playmaking ability so they can pass to the right man. We had a lot of players getting to the rim. That was fine. A lot of players can drive and pick and roll, but they just wasn't being found, even though they were in open spaces. And saying that the team they were up against was the London Lions, they had to bounce back after 2 losses, one to Leicester in the previous week, I believe, and another one to, I believe it is Newcastle. And we did not win any of those matches. Any of those games. We didn't win any of those games, and I was putting it up to the rest, but I believe it's really just a lack of confidence in shooting. As you can see today, a lot more of the players got confident in shooting, and that changed the actual points drastically. The only problem is consistency. I mean, it's all good to win a game, but you need to win it consistently, to shoot consistently, because defenders will be thrown at you, and it's going to happen in the future. And we know when defenders are thrown at London Lions, they literally capitulate. They literally fall and everything breaks apart. So we just need them to stay confident and keep shooting. On to the next team. When it comes to Cheshire Phoenix and it comes to Newcastle, wow, that game, what I'm saying? That game is something else. They are so even. It's incredible. This team, Cheshire Phoenix, Newcastle, they're such an even team. They were going back and forth. It was almost like a computer game. One would throw up a 2, another would throw up a 2. One would do a 3-point. Another one would do a 3-point. Obviously, Seneca Knight was trying to separate them, but he just kept getting dragged in. The guy who shot the winning score point was Timberlake. Not Justin Timberlake. But yes, he shot the game-winning score to give Cheshire the win. However, the game was so tight. If you told me it was going to go to overtime, I would have believed you. What I need to see, though, between Cheshire and Newcastle, is a player that stands above them all. And it's kind of like what we have in London Lions. We have Aaron Rai, who is that player. Now, we admittedly stole Aaron Rai from Cheshire, right? The London Lions, my team, of course. But we need to, I believe Cheshire needs to have another player. Now, I believe that's Larry Austin Jr. I believe he is that player when it comes to Leicester to actually take that team to the next. Is Seneca Knight the guy that takes Newcastle to that next level? If he is, maybe does the coach let him have more options on the court, let him have more choices where he can move around to get to the rim? I don't know, because he has to balance a lot of the teams and the roster. I don't know what the coaches are going to do. But saying that, such an even game, such a good game. That last shot by Timberlake really set them apart and made Cheshire win the game. Such a good game to watch. Now, I didn't get to watch the Bristol Flyers game against, I believe it's the Caledonia Gladiators. Now, Caledonia unfortunately lost this game again, but what I have noticed is that they have improved their tally on the actual score sheet. They've got their numbers up, and that's a good point, and that's really good, especially with Gareth out of the way. They actually got their numbers up, so you can't really blame the coach for the lack of scoring. But what I would say the problem is the roster itself. I would say the team needs another Pat Whelan, another guy that can play, make and score. No offense to Pat Whelan, but I don't think a one-man band. This was almost like a one-man band on the court. Obviously, there's other people around him that can shoot, but I believe he needs more players that can shoot around him. He has talent, obviously. You do have people like Trayon Barnes who can actually shoot as well, and Malcolm that can shoot as well. But those guys are not really, how do I say, you wouldn't throw them the ball to take a shot. So we need somebody that can really get into the team and basically start taking these shots a lot more to help really separate or keep them close to someone like Bristol Flyers. Bristol Flyers bounced back after a couple of losses. In the championship, they're not really high in the table, but in the cup, I believe Bristol Flyers is trying to go to the final. It would be great to see Bristol Flyers win some silverware. I don't believe they've won any silverware, so I'll be happy for Coach Kapoulis to actually win some. You know, the team is a very good team. Disappointing though in the championship. I wish they could concentrate on both. At the moment, it seems that the team is just too far strung between the, I believe, the EMBL, which is the European the European games, and the SLB plus the cup competition. What I'm going to do, guys, in the future is talk about the EMBL, the actual teams that are in there. I know I haven't done it yet. It will happen, guys. Bear with me. I'm going through a lot. So I'm going to explain to you what's been happening, why I haven't posted a video quite recently. So as you know, I use my computer. My computer became overheated and the CPU basically glitched and basically blew. This is why I had to replace the CPU and get a whole new motherboard. And so basically that took some time for me to wait to eventually get back to uploading the video. What else is happening in the meantime while this is happening is that I am basically trying to get rid of mold in my room. And so we've talked to people. Some guys have checked it and they're going to help me get rid of the mold. And I've got something on the way soon to help me get rid of that mold or keep the temperature in my room at a high enough temperature so I don't breathe in the mold or take any mold to the chest. So, you know, all this is being sorted out. A lot of complications, but we are getting it done. So, in saying that, guys, this is my video back. Happy New Year, happy 2025. And I'm looking forward to the year. Obviously, I'm going to try and give you more and more videos. Now, this year, I'm going to tell you what's going to be different about this year. I'm going to try and break down players because I feel we don't really have enough information on the players or hype. So I'm going to actually look at their player history. This is good. That you might see it come with the player history video in the banner or the thumbnail. It will say player history. it's going to take time to do these kind of videos because I'm going to do an in-depth research and bring it to you guys, and then the editing as well. But I think it's worth it to actually understand who you're signing, what position you're signing them for, how they played in the other team, why they were let go, and what they can bring to the table. If it's somebody that should be hyped up, or if it's something that shouldn't be hyped up. You know, whatever it is, hype or no hype, the fans decide. So, anyway, guys, I'm back. Happy 2025. Till next time. Peace.